What happens when a police chief's son thinks he's above the law and attacks a 70-year-old Vietnam veteran in broad daylight? Derek Cole walked into Judge Frank Caprio's courtroom, convinced his father's badge would shield him. What followed, when his father was forced to choose between family and justice, became one of the most talked-about moments in Providence court history. It's a cold November morning in Providence Municipal Court. Judge Frank Caprio, 76, has seen thousands of cases, but this one feels different. The victim is 70-year-old Robert Martinez, a Vietnam veteran and retired city firefighter. The defendant is 32-year-old Derek Cole, son of Providence Police Chief Thomas Cole. 3 days earlier, Martinez was walking his dog in Roger Williams Park when Derek, driving a BMW fast, nearly hit him. Witnesses say Derek stopped, got out, and shoved Martinez to the pavement. Martinez hit his head and later suffered a concussion, 3 broken ribs, and a fractured wrist. A nearby security camera captured the assault. The video went viral, and the city demanded accountability. The courtroom is packed, reporters, veterans, citizens. Derek enters in an expensive suit, smirking, showing no remorse. As he passes Martinez, who wears his Vietnam cap and supports his injured wrist, Derek doesn't look at him. Judge Caprio, having reviewed the file and footage, calls the case. "Mr. Cole, how do you plead?" he asks. Derek answers arrogant. "Not guilty, Your Honor. This is ridiculous." Judge Caprio removes his glasses, a signal he's ready to set the record straight. Derek insists he barely touched Martinez, and that the matter is blown out of proportion. The gallery gasps. Judge Caprio then asks Martinez to identify himself. Martinez stands, steady and dignified. He served in the U.S. Marines from 1968 to 1971, earned a Purple Heart and Bronze Star, and spent 30 years as a Providence firefighter. He explains that Derek assaulted him after he simply asked him to slow down. Caprio plays the security footage. The video shows Derek's BMW speeding in the park, nearly hitting Martinez. Then Derek getting out and forcefully shoving the veteran before driving off. The evidence is clear. Derek offers excuses. "I was having a bad day." But Judge Caprio is blunt. People in hardship don't assault elderly veterans. He tells Derek he likely grew up believing his family's position made him untouchable. Then Caprio does something nobody expected. He calls for Chief Thomas Cole to come forward. Chief Cole, who's been sitting quietly in civilian clothes, rises. He watched his son's arrogance in the video. In front of everyone, the chief speaks as a father and as a lawman. He confirms he viewed the footage, read the hospital reports, and refuses to use his office to protect Derek. "I failed to teach him respect and accountability," he says, his voice breaking. "I love him, but love doesn't mean sheltering him from consequences. He needs help, not protection." Derek breaks down. The chief tells him he apologized to Mr. Martinez on Derek's behalf, and that Martinez said his son needed help, not a bailout. Judge Caprio acknowledges the chief's courage and the meaning of integrity, choosing the law over personal interest. He addresses Derek. Remorse is the first honest thing he's heard, but it's not enough. Actions have consequences. Verdict and sentence. Derek Michael Cole is found guilty of assault and battery on an elderly person. Judge Caprio sentences him to 90 days in Providence County Correctional Facility, 200 hours of community service working with elderly veterans, 1 year of anger management counseling, and a formal written apology to Mr. Martinez to be read in court, followed by a personal, face-to-face apology. The moment, a police chief placing justice above family, restored faith for many in Providence and became a powerful lesson in accountability, humility, and what it really means to serve. Derek nods, resigned. "Yes, Your Honor," he says. Judge Caprio lays out the sentence. Derek will record a public video apology for the Providence Police Department, explaining what he did, why it was wrong, and how he'll make amends. After his sentence, he'll speak to recruits at the Providence Police Academy about privilege and accountability. His father will arrange it. "This isn't to humiliate you," the judge says. "It's to prevent others from making the same mistake." The punishment is stern by design, not only to punish, but to transform. Chief Cole stands. "Your Honor, Derek will also move out of my house. He's 32. He must learn to stand on his own." Derek looks crushed. The chief's voice breaks as he tells his son, It's time for you to grow up. Judge Caprio asks if anyone else wishes to speak. Robert Martinez, the 70-year-old veteran Derek assaulted, rises slowly. I don't want revenge. Martinez says, I want him to understand that every person deserves respect. Age or rank doesn't matter. If he learns that, this will have been worth it. The courtroom goes quiet. A man who was hurt offers forgiveness and wisdom instead of anger. Judge Caprio faces Derek. Mr. Cole, Mr. Martinez is showing you more grace than you deserve. Spend your time in custody thinking about what kind of man you want to be. Court adjourns. As officers move to take Derek into custody, Chief Cole steps forward and hugs his son. I love you, he whispers, loud enough for nearby people to hear. But I love you enough to let you face this. Now prove it. Derek sobs into his father's shoulder. I'm sorry, Dad. Now prove it, the chief repeats. Officers lead Derek away. Chief Cole watches, tears tracking down his face. This is love that doesn't shield from consequences, but supports growth through them. Judge Caprio and the chief exchange a quiet handshake, a moment of mutual respect between two men devoted to service. Before the room empties, Judge Caprio speaks to everyone. The choice we all face when someone we love does wrong is clear. Enable them or hold them accountable. Chief Cole chose justice, Mr. Martinez, and the values he lives by, that is courage and leadership. The crowd applauds. Veterans salute. Martinez walks to the chief and clasps his hand. Your son is lucky to have a father like you, he says. The chief, overcome, replies, he'll learn. And when he does, he'll make you proud. The applause fades and the room grows quiet. Faces glisten with tears, hands tremble with memory. For Derek, the ceremony is not spectacle but reckoning. He stands at the edge in a borrowed jacket that smells faintly of soap and linen, listening to words he finally accepts as instruction rather than judgment. 6 months later, Derek leaves the Providence County Correctional Facility a different man, leaner, humbled, and purposeful. His 200 hours at the VA, intended as punishment, become an education in humility. He folds blankets, serves coffee, and sits in long quiet listening to veterans tell pieces of themselves. He learns to hold space for pain without trying to fix it, to ask questions instead of assuming answers. The most unexpected change comes from his meeting with Robert Martinez. Their apology sits in a small room with a window that looks onto a courtyard. Martinez arrives with quiet steadiness. Derek brings remorse and the truest wish to repair. Martinez does not raise his voice. He talks about his son's ridiculous taste in music, his stubborn laugh, the baseball games they never finished. Then Martinez says, take that memory and let it steer you. He offers no punishment, only challenge. Show your growth through action, not words. That meeting becomes a turning point. Martinez steps into a mentor role, teaching Derek how to serve rather than command. He shows him how small acts, a steady handshake, a respectful question, rebuild trust. Their bond does not erase what happened, but it transforms responsibility into daily practice. Derek records a video apology, unvarnished and direct. It is shared widely. Millions watch a young man admit wrongs and take concrete steps to make amends. The attention brings both praise and criticism. Some accuse him of wanting applause. Others demand harsher penalties. Derek answers both with consistent action, continuing at the VA, attending every required class, and volunteering beyond what was expected. Chief Cole surprises those who expected indifference. He attends anger management sessions with Derek, not as a spectator but as a participant, confronting the ways of protection foster entitlement. In group conversations, he admits fear and pride, and slowly learns a new posture, one that balances love with honest boundaries. Those quiet, hard admissions start to mend a relationship frayed by avoidance. Today, Derek drives a county van to bring veterans to morning breakfasts and appointments. He speaks at community centers and police trainings about privilege, accountability, and repair. He helps run a small fund that pays for counseling for veterans who cannot afford care. Judge Caprio's sentence, firm but measured, remains a pivotal example in Derek's talks. Justice that aimed to correct rather than merely punish. This story does not offer a tidy redemption. There are no erasures of harm, only long negotiations. A son still carries the consequences of his father's instincts to shield him, and a family keeps the scars of public shame. But lives have shifted. Guilt has been redirected into service, estrangement into slow reconciliation. Small acts accumulate. A return blanket, a listened to story, an honest apology. These tiny pieces rebuild the world one person at a time. If you see someone avoiding consequence, choose a harder path. Hold them accountable and help them learn. That is how communities heal. Share this story. Honor veterans by volunteering, donating, or simply listening. When we demand accountability and offer consistent support, we build a future where repair is possible.